All right, Shalom. First off, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory
Unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash.
I want to give double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of GMS, and a salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the GMS Nebraska camp. This is the brother Yatazakba here with
Yakalamuth
and Kawashab.
Khan. And in this lesson, what we wanted to get into is just speaking about some things going on in the news, some moves that Esau is making, going toward his cashless society, his digital infrastructure that he wants to set up, which is ultimately going to lead unto the prophecy of the M0TB that we read about in Revelation chapter 13. We can start with that real fast, Baba Kushah.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Revelation 13 and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right, and that image of the beast, what is the beast? Well, that beast is speaking about NATO and EU. That beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns, which America rides atop the beast, leading that power in the world today. Is basically that Edomite system of power, that's ruling this earth. And it says that it speaks about the image of the beast, which is basically Esau's way of life, his philosophies, the things he pushes, stemming from that Greco-Roman culture. It's Esau's science, is Esau's family structure, how he thinks things should be, everything contrary to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's image and how things should be, and can we read that again?
Come. Revelation 13:15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Right, that image isn't speaking about a literal picture, a literal image. It's a way of life. It's something being made in someone's image, and he has the ability to give life unto it, which means that it is it's how people carry themselves. People walk in Esau's way, his philosophies. That LGBTQ, that women's liberation and all that. That's all Esau's ideas. And the things that he pushes. All these religions that people follow, all these gods that people are able to worship. All these different things. This is Esau's ideas that he has pushed onto the people, and it has been adopted.
Yeah, and ultimately, just a quick point. The reason Esau Edom is doing things of the such, trying to create things in his own image via this system, how people believe, is really in an attempt to counteract what the main purpose of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai was, because it said that I create man in my image, in my likeness of my image. So, and then the purpose was that mainly it was just for Israel to follow his ways. You know what I'm saying? To follow righteousness. That's why also it says the righteous is more, says forget how his word in Proverbs, he's more righteous than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. You know what I'm saying? Because of the image that Esau Edom is bringing in, like the brother was speaking about. But I just want to say that.
So we can read on in that Revelation.
Revelation 13 and 16.
Now we can read the rest of 15.
It continues in verse 15. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right, and so we're coming into a time where those who do not worship the image of the beast, who do not follow in the way that Esau wants the earth to follow, it says that they should be killed. Now that can stem from literally being put to death, as it speaks about how you're going to have those with the testimony of Yahweh Shai that will be beheaded, because we're going to resist this new world order that Esau is setting up. This stems from a literal killing, but when you get into the definition, the Greek of that word killed, it goes back to of separation, to where if you aren't abiding within Esau's society in the way that he wants you to, then you will be basically excommunicated from society. An example of that is what's going on in China with their system of governance, to where, if you don't comply with how the Chinese government wants you to comply and carry yourself, you are barred off from certain things. You can't enter certain buildings. You can't access certain spaces. You can't get on the internet. These different things. But if you are in line with the Chinese government, then you good. You get certain benefits. You get things opened up onto you.
Yeah.
And Esau is ultimately going to set up a system globally that's in line with his image, with his way. Is following after that same idea.
Yeah, and they did a trial run in 2020. You know what I'm saying, with the vid. You had to have the medication. You had to have a mask on. You had to have verification that you had the cure. I just call it that for content purposes. Esau chopped the videos, but that was a trial run. A lot of people did a lot of panicking. They didn't want to be left out. They just obeyed. Even without reason. You got people scared to talk to each other, scared to even be within 5 feet within each other because this is such a deadly virus. And then on top of that, people losing their jobs because they say, "Oh, you gotta have it, or you can't work."
Yeah.
And then they turn around, not too much longer, and say, "Oh no, you good, you don't need it." You know what I'm saying? So some people got that jump shot, didn't even need it, but guess what? That was just, like, once again, it's a trial run. Esau is going to up the ante this time.
Okay.
Hey, they're gonna do that too in the UK. They're gonna mandate those digital IDs. And what did they say? They say if you don't get the digital ID, you can't work.
Mm-hmm. And that's a form of that killing that it speaks about in that precept, to where unless you follow along with the system, you can't work. You can't work. You can't get what you need to sustain yourself, to eat, to pay your bills. That's you being separated from society because you're not going along with his system.
I got a quick precept for you.
Baba Kusha.
This is Sirach chapter 34 and verse 22. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him.
Mm-hmm.
And he that defraudeth the labor of his hire is a bloodshedder.
Right. So that's what Esau is going to do to those who don't go along with his system. He's taking away their living. He's taking away all opportunity for them to take care of themselves, because the only way you're going to be able to get any type of, finances, and any, you have to get this technology, or you have to go along with this digital infrastructure. What if somebody doesn't want to? And that's what's going to happen when ultimately the M0TB is instated. Because as we are about to read in a couple verses, it says that you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have it. It's not just buying and selling; it's everything that we're speaking about. You won't be able. Everything is going to be within this M0TB, which is the RFID chip. This is going to be your access to not only go to the store, but your access to go to the hospital. Your access to go to school. Your access to do anything that is a part of this society. Esau is gonna, have it in line with that system, and so you're gonna be completely separated. But the thing is, the elect are going to be sustained and taken care of by Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, as the scriptures prophesy, But without getting too far from what we're speaking on, we can go back to that Revelation 13.
Gone. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
And that's Esau's grand plan, that he would administer this mark in all the inhabitants of the earth. Small and great. It doesn't matter if you're quote unquote lower class, you're just a regular person, or if you're a celebrity, or if you're rich in this world. It doesn't matter if you're in prison. That's going to be a main system of people who end up getting that mark. Those who are in prison, because that's going to be a system of identification. It talks about what did it say? Small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So basically, whatever your status is within society, Esau wants you to get with that system. You know, and it says, let's read that next verse about Bashar.
Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell,
Yep.
save he that had the mark,
Uh-huh.
or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Right, which is just speaking about that chip. Now it says that you won't be able to buy or sell, which means that there's going to be a completely new system that we are under, where cash won't be used. It's going to be completely digital. But the thing is, before we get to the complete fulfillment of this prophecy, there has to be things that are put in place. There has to be infrastructure that's laid, and we are in the stages right now where Esau is using gradualism to change the world that we are used to, with cash, with physical things, owning things ourselves, to where we're slowly walking into a system to where it's all on his digital grid. A cashless society, everything in the cloud.
Oh, that's a good point you just brought up, like everything on the cloud, and how it's gonna be on the on that chip, or first starting with the digital ID. If we go to back to verse 16, the word mark. If we go into the Greek, 1 second, the Greek G5480 is charagma, right? And we know how it's it's going into a stamp underneath the skin. But if we go into one of those root words, let's see here. You got harax, that's one of the root words. But if we go into the one root word of that, we got grapho, and one of the definitions is to write. Because it's going to have all your information written down, through that software on the digital ID, on the chip itself.
Yep. And that's the thing. As we, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying, and as we go through and show the different things that they're doing right now, these are just precursors to what the scripture is speaking about, to where all your different identification, all your different information is all going to be on this chip. The same way you got all this data on your phone, to where your phone number, your address, your name, your all the different apps that you use, all that information is on your phone. Well, eventually it's going to be like that on on the chip. So we can since we kind of
had something because as you were speaking, I looked something up. Just something real quick, something that came out with from Gil Bates on gatesnotes.com. It's and this is dated last year, October the 15th last year. It says planes, trains, and smartphones. And it says almost 30 years ago, I wrote a book called The Road Ahead about the transformative potential of the internet and other new digital technologies. Back then, I envisioned a world where online payments and e-government would change how we interact with money, services, and each other. Today, much of that has become a reality, in part due to the development of digital public infrastructure. So just that part. It's a decent read, but as the brother was speaking about it, it had me thinking like this is a gradualistic thing, that they've always been planning this. Gil Bates, he's up there. You know what I'm saying? He's amongst those that are hot and good with that technology. There's another guy, I forget his name. They develop a lot of technology to where it's pretty much they are helping to forward the technocracy.
Them technocrats.
The technocrats, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, it's a elongated plan. Started from the elite bankers, and they're just the face of it. But this has been a long-term plan to fulfill that agenda, that NWO agenda. Yeah. So just circling back to what the brothers mentioned with the gradualism, this is nothing new. All right, Esau Edom has been trying to do this. The heathens tried it in the past through the scriptures with Nimrod, the NWO agenda. So
with the Tower of Babel.
With the Tower of Babel, you know what I'm saying? So this is the new age Tower of Babel, and we see it playing out in full form, bit by bit, day by day. But yeah, that's all I want to bring out.
I got a precept for you. If going into that depth of how they've been planning stuff out for a long time. Psalm 64, starting at verse 5, it says they encourage themselves in an evil matter, They commune of laying snares privily.
They commune of laying snares privily. A snare is a trap, and this whole system that everybody is being herded into is a trap because, like we mentioned before the lesson, it's like that metaphor with the frog in the boiling pot, to where the heat is being turned up, and the frog doesn't realize until the water's too hot, and then it's over with, And so the thing is, that what is going to get to a point to where people are going to be trapped in the system to where they're going to feel like they have no choice but to go into it, and it's being laid behind the scenes.
It continues. They say, who shall see them?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
Because like the brother was saying, this is something that has been in the works for a long time. This isn't something that they just thought about in the last 20 years. This is something that has took a couple centuries of planning. We look at the beginning of the Federal Reserve being created. We look at the beginning of the Social Security being created, and all these things were brought about with the end goal of where we are today. But there was a process that had to be brought about. There was things that had to be built. The time had to come, and it's all a part of the Lord's will, And so Salak, I kind of forgot what I was about to say, but was there more to that precept? Okay.
It says, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. They're kind of going into how they got all these think tanks brainstorming constantly about how to make this NWO come into fruition. And it's a slow and gradual process because they're not just winging it. They're strategizing, like the scriptures say. They accomplish that diligent search.
So from here we can go into this some recent that just got instated to where now Apple has created a digital ID system on the phone. We can get into it. It's going to explain it.
Oh yeah, I got it.
And just while them brothers pull it up, this digital ID system that Apple is making is just like the Apple Wallet, to where you can double tap your power button, your wallet come up, you just press your password in, and boom, with you put your debit card into your phone to where you can just scan your phone, boom, you paying for something. Well, this digital ID is going to be on that same thing. They're creating a digital wallet. You won't need your physical wallet no more. You can bring your phone around, and it's as if you have your wallet with you. So we can get into that.
So I got this article pulled up. The title of it is Apple introduces digital ID, a new way to create and present an ID in Apple Wallet. Digital ID offers a secure and private way for users to create an ID in Apple Wallet using information from their U.S. passport and present their ID with iPhone or Apple Watch.
And it's not just the passport; it's your driver's license and your state ID as well. But it as of right now, it depends state by state. Like not it's with participating states to put it how they stated. So it's not nationwide yet. But the thing, it's like you had something.
I was just going back because it says and it says Apple's digital ID feature allows adding driver's license IDs in Apple Wallet in those states currently including Arizona, California, Colorado, Georgia, Hawaii, Iowa, Maryland, Montana, New Mexico, North Dakota, Ohio, West Virginia, and Puerto Rico, with more states like Utah, Connecticut, Kentucky, and Mississippi committed to joining.
Yeah, and eventually it's going to be a nationwide thing. And it's going to be well, I'd be remiss to say it's going to be a worldwide thing because, it's already, we see over in the UK. They're saying, the brother mentioned it earlier, they have their digital ID to where if you don't get it, then you can't get a job. Well, the thing is, as these features are being added, we're going to get to a point to where the old system of how things were used is going to be this is how we do it now. You need this digital ID. When you get pulled over, we want to see you pull it up on your phone. We don't want your card no more. It's just like they had something called a real ID, to where you had to you had to basically go get your card, your ID renewed, and it had to have like the star in the corner. And it was like there was no real difference to the ID. It's basically the same ID, but it was like a new card or something like that. Well, they could do the same thing with this digital ID.
Hey, it's interesting now that you bring that up. In the article itself, it says digital ID gives more people a way to create and present an ID in Apple Wallet, even if they do not have a real ID, compliant driver's license, or state ID.
Y'all better continue.
Right. So essentially, hey, what is that saying? Because I'm sure there were still people flying without the real ID, right? But now it's tightening up a little bit more, to where it's like, all right, with this Apple ID, now this is going to be your form of the real ID, in a sense. All right, and I had to look into it, and I might be swinging at the air with this one, but who's to say that with this government shutdown, with those TSA, individuals weren't getting paid, and that whole fiasco, who's to say that they weren't putting that infrastructure into place during the shutdown? And it's just something to think about. There's no solid facts on that I could prove, but it's something to think about. Because Esau Edom, he does things strategically, right? He doesn't just, like the brother mentioned, gradualism. He don't throw it at you at one time. There's a situation that happens. There's a reaction to it, and then there's a solution. And in the background, they could be doing some things that you don't know about, and then they spring forth like, hey, you can put it on your Apple Wallet now.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Now you can fly. Yeah. Thank God we can fly again. So, like the brother brought that scripture out beautifully, is that the heart searches deep. Roughly paraphrasing that whole rip. Because Esau Edom does things by design. Ultimately, that design is the blueprint is given to him by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know what I'm saying? To usher this NWO system in.
God. Right? Hey, just like they did in during the time of C-19. While all that chaos was going on, they was working overtime setting up those 5G towers. Doing all type of things, man. So it's not something that's far out. It's they could be very well doing that during this time, man.
Hey, at the beginning of this year, you had the Stargate project, which was something that was going on very silently. You didn't see it in a lot of headlines. At this time, you had the whole Diddy thing going on. You had a bunch of stuff they was pushing in people's faces. But you had the Stargate project, where they made a plan to put $500 billion into AI infrastructure, which is basically what they need to power all these different systems that we're talking about right now.
God, that devil, he's subtle, man. Like the scripture says. I could bring that out if y'all cool. This is Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent, right? The serpent is really talking about Esau Edom. It says, was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh power had made.
Right. And that serpent, that serpent is coming in the spirit of Esau. He is that serpent even unto this day, because a serpent is very cunning, that's what it said, right?
So the word subtle, let's actually we'll go into the Hebrew real quick. Let's see, subtle, H6175, I believe it's Arawam, and it says definition is subtle. If we go a little deeper, we go into the word subtle. It means so delicate or precise as to be difficult to analyze or describe. Going into how Esau is doing things very strategically.
Yeah, and sneaky.
To
where unless you're really paying attention, you can't just point it out. Unless it's revealed, you know, or you know, it's just made open unto you. You gotta like really pay attention to the moves he be doing to see the different slide thing. And the thing is, Esau's doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about. You know, doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
A couple precepts.
Okay.
So Obadiah chapter 1 verse 6. It says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?"
Right, because through the Holy Spirit, you know, the Lord is allowing us to see the different things that Esau is doing. He's revealing things unto us, and that's why we're able to look at the gradualism that he's doing. We're able to look at these different systems that he's setting up, and we're able to tie it unto biblical prophecy. We're able to tie it unto this is the mark, you know, through that Holy Spirit. Now, not only that, but you have certain things of Esau's cunning and his deceitful nature that is being revealed in this time. You know, it was like
I'll start up at that point since you mentioned it. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, "And know ye not what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time?
Mm-hmm.
For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he that now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." All right. It says, what you're saying that the Most High is allowing Esau to do what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately the Most High says that in Job, where he set the bounds that he cannot pass. Mm-hmm. You know, so Esau Edom, the Most High is allowing Esau Edom to bring in this digital system. He's allowing him to, to destroy the earth through pesticides and false foods and poisons and all these different things, making shrimp and oysters a delicacy. All these different things, the Most High is allowing him to do that until he be taken out of the way, right? Because his judgment is built up to the clouds, right? Then it says, "And when that wicked, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming."
And that wicked is speaking about Esau Edom. Malachi 1:4 calls Esau the border of wickedness. And it says that he is being consumed by the spirit of the Lord's mouth, which is through the mouth of his prophets, because the Lord speaks through his prophets. Like it says in either 1 Peter 1:21 or 2 Peter 1:21, that this prophecy came not by the will of man, but holy men spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. You know, and so through this truth, Esau is being revealed, and then people in the world are looking at Esau for the man that he is. People see them Amalekites that's over there in the land, and they like, man, these are some devils, these are some wicked people. These regular Americans are looking at Esau and like, man, this dude ain't right. I think about the video recently that kind of went viral with the Asian dude, and he was like just naming a bunch of stuff that was Esau's fault, just what he called white people. But a bunch of stuff that was just white people's fault, that was just bad about in history and about life, and it was like, that's white people's fault, and that's a common consensus, that people are starting to have an evil eye toward Esau, because the Lord is just revealing him and there's shameful spewing on his glory.
Okay, well, beautiful. Because even if they know what the basis of the lesson, with the digital ID and how they're pretty much putting it into Apple and also different other sources. To add to what the brother was saying, you have even so-called Edomite looking individuals coming out and saying, "Man, I ain't taking that shit. I ain't." They start pointing out different ways of how Esau Edom is bringing, pretty much making everything digital, right? The same as which I believe that those individuals listen to the prophets. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, you have so-called the face of Edomites coming out and they're bucking up. You know what I'm saying? They are not complying with the system. They're not complying with the Esau infiltrating their privacy through this digital age that we're in. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So how much more the prophets and the men of the Lord who've been saying that, really starting with like our elders and apostles, who've been really bringing this information out that people are now speaking about. They've been bringing this information out for 4 decades now. Was it decades? Yeah, 4 decades, not centuries. It's 4 decades, right? And now it's coming to pass. right? I want to bring out a quick precept. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, and verse 10. And it says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places.
Yeah. It's like he made him bare. He's revealed his nakedness metaphorically.
Yep.
So that his shame can be seen. He can't hide himself.
Yep, he says, and he shall not be able to hide himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He can't hide himself. So history, people is looking at history and like, man, y'all lied about this and y'all lied about that. Y'all calling all these people, terrorists and these different things, but y'all did terroristic actions. Y'all, blaming these people for this, but y'all are like, people see this, and it's open to view.
Yeah. So he had that, and that was it Jay Rockefeller, I believe, who came out and made that statement about the internet, saying that we should have never created it. That internet is your downfall, right? You got too many people are so-called conscious nowadays, but you have the men of the Lord all throughout the four corners of the earth. They're constantly looking into things. They're constantly bringing out information. So now you're trying to backtrack, but it's too late. The jig is up.
Yeah.
And it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah.
God, and like I was saying earlier, a lot of these Edomites are exposing themselves too. You got these truthers online, and a lot of them will be the first ones to talk about the small hats as if they're not the same people.
Yeah. They be the same people, but it says that their tongue shall fall upon themselves.
Con, I got that right here. This is Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
So you got Esau calling out Esau. You got whistleblowers that's calling out different government corruption and different things. You got, like the brothers, the truthers, whereas is Edomites and they calling out, wickedness from Esau.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say things like the people doing the things say things that condemn their own selves. Where you'll have these different technocrats that we name, like Bill Gates, for example, and he will be saying a speech and he'll say some depopulist agenda stuff where if you like, hold on, did he just say that? And then it's like he's like blatantly telling on himself,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah. To the point where they're not even. It's to the point where they're really not even trying to hide it anymore.
Yeah.
They just like, it's like at the end of the day, what are you gonna do about it?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What are you gonna do? Esau, he's the one that's been set up in the power, as it says in Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? So he controls. This is what legislation is gonna be. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. This is what we doing. What you gonna do?
Yeah, because power is given into his hands.
Exactly.
So it's like we can't do nothing but that's the thing, because we were speaking about that before the lesson came on, that you have there was a survey where they basically was asking like different people how they felt about the digital system or how they felt about a digital system. Did they think that there was more coming? Did they these different things? And you had a group of people who like you had a certain percentage of people who knew that a digital system was coming. They saw these things coming down the pipeline, but they felt almost like their spirit was basically like dejected about it. It was like, we know it's coming, and we know it's a problem. We know that this is bad, but what are we going to do about it?
Right.
We can't resist it. We can't change it. These people hold the power. So, like, what's any point in trying to resist it? But the thing is, for those of us in this truth, we see it. We know it's a problem, but we know what's coming after. We know that the Lord is coming back to destroy this system. So we have a hope. We have something to look forward to where we know that this isn't the end all be all. We know we ain't just going into some dystopian future and Esau just wins. That's what these people in the world think who are sort of in the know. They see certain things. They think that we're just heading towards this dystopian future and Esau just about to win. Or they think that they can take the power into their own hands and try to stop it somehow. No, we need divine intervention to stop what Esau is setting up.
Yeah.
Only the Lord can get us out of this situation. We understand that he's coming back soon. So that gives us hope. That gives us the faith to keep on going and fight till the end.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. It's, 2 Ezra 9:1 says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Yep.
And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
We're measuring the time. We're looking at these prophecies. We see that we're very, very close. We see that the end is coming nigh, and it's moving fast. It says that the Lord would shorten the days for the elect's sake. You know, which means that not only are these days getting faster, literally, but these prophecies are coming to pass at a faster rate.
Yeah.
You know, as a matter of fact, I was speaking to these brothers about like the different statistics I was looking up with these digital transactions. It says that 85% of transactions made in stores, you know, are monetary transactions. 85% of them are digital. Now, that spiked in 2020. You know, at a point in 2019, it was like just cracking 70 or something like that. But it jumped up in 2020 because through the Lord's will, you know, Esau did everything that he did with the whole C-19 situation. You know, but that was the Lord's will so that prophecy could come to pass, because that did a lot in moving along this technological system. You know, that did a lot with moving along contactless payment and things like that, and it got people comfortable and used to digital payments to where now today at a faster rate, you know, statistics are rising with people using cash less and less and less. We're measuring the times. We're seeing that the end is coming soon, and we know that what happens as the end comes, as Esau fulfills his enterprise, brings about this M0TB, the Lord is coming right after that to knock this whole table over.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I was just thinking about it. Just a quick point. Just how you know, pretty much how everything is becoming more digital. You know, you see in a lot, like damn near everything that you do in your life is tied to an app.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's learning something, whether it's going to buy something. You know, you get on Amazon, you want to go buy something, you want to know, whatever it is. I was listening to a video, I got to go back and listen to it, but there was a video saying that over 85 billion, I think it was like 85 billion apps are active on just teenagers' phones alone. Like newly downloaded apps, and most of these apps, they require personal information, right? And that was just talking about the age, the range of teenagers. You know what I'm saying? From like the age of like maybe like 16 to like young adults, 16 or maybe like 25. Let alone the upper age. You know, we're all downloading shit.
Yeah. You
know, we're all utilizing these apps. You know, so yeah, I just wanted to point that out, man, because it's funny how this is a slow but sure ushering in of getting people comfortable with being things being digital.
Well, that's because it's making people comfortable, because a lot of these apps, it incentivizes using the app. Like with a lot of these food places, for example, you get rewards when you use that app.
Right.
So you get things cheaper, you get different, you know, things free and stuff like that. A lot of the times with like cash, for example, they just make it obsolete to where it just favors the digital system. For example, like I was talking about in another lesson, them how you pay for your parking downtown. Like it favors a digital thing to where you got to get that app. You got to put your license plate in there. You put your card on there. You pay for it like that. Right. Scan the QR code to pay for it. Right. Company kitchen, you know. Right. You can't. There is no cash option to use that vending machine system. You have to have the app, or you have to have a card.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, all these self-checkouts. You know, I got a local grocery store. Not only does it have mainly all self-checkout, but they actually have some self-checkout lines that have a sign no cash. You know,
right.
So it's like it's all heading there, slowly but surely.
You know, and so they're gonna make cash obsolete or just make it more difficult to use, which goes into them getting rid of the penny. Soon, Lord willing, they're gonna get rid of the nickel, and them things are gonna get cycled out of the economy very quick because of all this digital use. And when you get rid of them coins, that's getting rid of a normalcy that we've been using like all our lives.
Yeah.
You're saying now we just got dimes and quarters. Now we got to round to the nearest dime. We got to round to the nearest. And the thing is, that's going to make people not even want to use cash. It's going to make these businesses not want to use cash, because with smaller payments and you got to get to that exact, change, and you got to round all the way up. Is that the business lose out on money because that adds up over time.
Right.
The consumer would probably lose out on money because they got, if you got to round up your cents, that's like another tax to them. It's like, man, you charging me extra cents, I don't even got to pay for it. It's just gonna make it easier to where it's like, well, if you got the digital payment, you can pay for your exact change that thing is, no problem.
Yeah.
So Esau is making it to where, the old system of things is harder to use, or you're, I don't want to say penalized, but it's basically almost like a hindrance.
Yeah.
But the new system, it's more convenient.
Conveniency. Right.
You're incentivized for using it. It's quicker. They push the thing that is safer. You don't gotta worry about losing it. You don't gotta worry about nobody stealing it.
No more paper receipts.
Yeah, no more paper receipts. And they gonna talk about how it's better for the environment. All these different things.
And if I may, I was mentioning that, I got an article pulled up real quick talking about digital ID benefits, and the top one is improved fraud prevention.
Cool.
Digital ID verification system help detect and prevent identity theft, reducing the risk of financial crime.
Tell me that don't sound good. You present that to the American people, man. Yeah, I'm getting tired of losing these wallets. I gotta go down to the DMV and re-get my ID, and I gotta get my bank card. That's convenience.
God.
That's convenience. You tell me, especially like even older cats that still so-called fortunate to be around. I say so-called because we in hell, but that they're still around and living into this digital age. Like, you know what? It don't sound too bad.
God.
So let alone this new age, yeah, it's convenient. I got less shit in my pockets now. All I need is my phone. And then eventually I ain't gonna need no phone. I'm gonna just need my, I'm gonna need my RFID.
Because it's all going for Esau to encroach to the point to where people go, once he bring the idea, you know what, all this stuff, this digital wallet, how it's all in one, we can just put this in you. Just put it in your hand. And he gonna make it free.
They're gonna do a commercial. I can imagine a commercial. They got all your cards on the table. You got your phone.
Yep.
It's like, who needs this? You know how they do advertising for that circle with the X through it? Who needs this? Yeah. And then they show you like one little piece of device or something. It's like,
it's all in one.
All in one,
They probably gonna have a brand of what all in one. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's the thing. Esau gonna make it to where people, that's what the gradualism is about, to where once them advertisements come up on TV, people gonna be like, you know what, at this point,
we're not saying that's exactly what's going to happen. It's just, thinking about how Esau works, man. He may do something like that, but we see that type of system coming,
The all-in-one. Because he's not going to push the chip and call it RFID chip, and you got to go to the RFID chip implant place and put it in. Like, just like you got the Neuralink. It sounds cool. It sounds like a edgy device, like a new tech edge device. He's gonna do that with the chip. He's gonna have the advertisements. Damn. He's gonna have the celebrities using it, and you're gonna be lame if you don't get it. You're gonna be like if you still using the phone while everybody got the chip, you're just gonna be like, you got a flip phone today. Like the celebrities going the same way they push all this other stuff on the people. They gonna have them as the people, like your streamers. Like, man, look, I just got the. All the kids are gonna want it.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna become normal.
Yeah. Essentially, it's that like you brought out in the Revelation, that killing, that separation.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be damn near forced to get it.
Yep.
Because life is not gonna stop because you don't want to get it. Life's gonna keep going on. Oh, you ain't got it? unfortunately, you know, that type of talk.
And that's why we gonna be hated amongst all men, because as this becomes normal, as this becomes the like the answer for everything in life, everybody's going. Because the thing is, this chip is also going to be an answer for a lot of the calamities that is going to be brought about on purpose, though. As this market crashes, as the dollar eventually gets to a point to where there's a hyperinflation, people can't afford things with this current economy. When debt gets too crazy, they gonna be like, man, let's just restart. Let's just do this digital currency. Eventually, it's gonna lead to the M0TB. But for those of us who don't concede and go with that system, people won't look at us like, bro, what are you doing? This fixed everything, and you still want to be, your family gonna look at you like a nuisance because they got the chip and you can't go nowhere because you don't got it, so they can't, you know what I'm saying? Like it's, man, your family gonna look at you like you a villain, because when it gets to a point to where you can't eat unless you get it, the people around you are going to be looking at you like, so you don't want the kids to get you, you just want the kids to starve? You want me to starve? Mm-hmm. Now we got to go get this. God. But that's why faith is going to have to be a must. Faith is going to have to be a must in these times we're coming into, because we got to believe that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to get us through, even in the face of everything being under this system. And it's like, what are we going to do unless we go with it? The Lord going to make a way.
I got a precept for you.
Sure.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 22.
Yep.
And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake.
Mm-hmm.
But he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
These words are faithful and true. The Lord is not a man that he shall lie. All these prophecies have been coming to pass. We see this prophecy coming to pass. So why wouldn't the prophecy of those that endure to the end being saved, why wouldn't that come to pass? That's faithful and true as well. And we have to keep that in mind. Now, the thing is, we talking about it right now. We're not there yet, you know. But in that time, it's going to be a lot harder to just deny it, because you're going to be surrounded. You know, it's going to be like as I said before, a digital siege, to where everything is going to be around you. It's going to be like, man, I can't do shit, you know, unless I get it. But it's going to take a lot of faith and hope, and it will be difficult. That's why it's called the hour of temptation.
Come on.
You know?
Hey, that's why I made that video a while back about how Utah is bringing out digital IDs, and at the same time they're building these homeless camps for people that end up homeless. So they got the solution, the digital ID, and then, oh, well, you know, if you don't want to work or be part of society, boom, then you're going to get shipped off to this camp, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like they build in the whole setup, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
So that's all I had.
Same here.
Okay, so hey, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. You know, once again, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash.
We want to give double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of GMS, and a salutation unto the elect. Hey, shalom.
Shalom.